Bondi orders evidence sent to grand jury for Russia collusion hoax. The move follows Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard sending criminal referrals to the Department of Justice. Attorney General Pam Bondi on Monday signed an order for a federal prosecutor to present evidence to a grand jury to tomorrow charges related to the Russia collusion hoax. Multiple sources confirmed to Just the News. The move follows the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, sending criminal referrals to the Department of Justice. The convening of a grand jury does not guarantee the filing of charges. Rather, it is the job of the grand jury to recommend charges if they believe significant evidence exists to justify a prosecution. DOJ launching grand jury investigation into Russiagate conspiracy allegation. Sources: Bondi is acting on Gabbard's criminal referral, claiming intelligence community suppression. Attorney General Pam Bondi directed her staff Monday to act on criminal referral from Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard related to the alleged conspiracy to tie President Donald Trump to Russia, and the Department of Justice is now opening a grand jury investigation into the matter, Fox News Digital has learned. I will talk about it more tomorrow, but the grand jury is in Florida. The grand jury is being slated in Florida. I do know that. Bondi personally ordered an unnamed federal prosecutor to initiate legal proceedings, and the prosecutor is expected to present department evidence to a grand jury, which would allow the department to secure a potential indictment, according to a letter from Bondi reviewed by Fox News Digital and sources familiar with the investigation. Now, since we're to the part of the show that I asked this question, do you think the majority of Americans, voters, believe Obama's deep state committed crimes? Do you guys think I want your guys's I want to see what you think. Do you think the majority of voters, of American voters, believe Obama's deep state committed crimes and Russiagate? What do you guys think? You guys tell me. What do you guys think? Because I want to see what you guys think with this. Do you think it's a yes? Do you think it's a no? Do you think I'm Let's get into it. Poll. Majority of voters believe Obama's deep state committed crimes in Russiagate. More than 2/3 of likely voters surveyed in the Rasmussen Report survey said there must be consequences for crimes committed in the scandal. Uh-oh. In the Dega bombshell, declassified documents showing the Obama White House and deep state players manufacturing the intelligence report that jump-started the Russia collusion hoax. A new poll finds a majority of Americans believe President Barack Obama's national security team committed crimes. More than 2/3, 69% of likely voters in the Rasmussen Report telephone and online survey said there must be consequences for crimes committed in the Russiagate scandal. The poll of 1,172 likely voters asked respondents, do you agree or disagree with this statement about the manipulation of intelligence in the Obama administration? Accountability has to take place. It is critical for the survival of a country that people who perpetrate such crimes are held accountable. And 54% believe it's likely the members of former President Barack Obama's national security team committed crimes when they manipulated and manufactured intelligence to promote a false narrative about Russia and Donald Trump. Oh. That is an interesting one. That is very interesting. So people think that people around Obama actually committed a crime. All right. The poll was released following revelations about the machinery behind the Russian collusion hoax, the debunked deep state and Democratic-driven narrative that the Trump campaign colluded with the Kremlin and the political outsiders' 2016 victory over bitter, failed Democratic candidate Hillary Clinton. It's interesting to think about all this. It is really interesting. Let's continue. James Clapper gets nervous, lawyered up after Gabbard's criminal referrals.
When the director says that she's referred these filings to the Justice Department for criminal investigation, tonight we're told they formed what is called a strike force. Do you have concerns that they will attempt to prosecute you?
Well, certainly I do. After 8.5 years of this, and I don't know of an intelligence product that was more scrutinized, more investigated than that product was by numerous people. It's very disconcerting. It really is. And I take seriously when the President of the United States accuses me of being a participant in a treasonous conspiracy, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, what's your reaction to that?
It's ridiculous. It is untrue.
So what will you do if they come after you? What is your plan?
Well, I'll lawyer up, I suppose. Already have.
You've already hired attorneys in anticipation that this Trump Justice Department could try to prosecute you.
We've had sort of perpetual attorneys since I left the government in 2017.
Former Director James Clapper, thank you for joining us tonight to respond to
this. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your time.
Uh-oh. Now, these people, I don't think these people understand how bad it's actually going to get for them. I don't think they understand how bad it's going to get for them. And I don't actually have... But yeah, let's continue. We got more. Stephen Miller deans Russiagate a coup against Trump, one erogenous felony after another. There must be consequences, the White House aide said.
The Russia collusion hoax against President Trump remains the single greatest hoax and the greatest assault on our democracy in the history of this country. There's no comparison. There's no parallel to anything else. It was a coup. And I'm using that term literally. It was a coup to overthrow a democratically elected government, a coup carried out by the intelligence apparatus of this country, by the deep state, by Hillary Clinton and the Democrat Party. The new information that has been revealed by the Director of National Intelligence and by the FBI eliminates any scintilla of doubt about the intention, the premeditation, the planning and orchestration of this conspiracy. It meets all of the criminal elements of a seditious conspiracy against the United States. It meets the criminal elements of an insurrection. It meets the criminal elements of a conspiracy against the government and the criminal elements of a conspiracy to deprive citizens of their civil rights under color of law. One egregious felony after another. And because it is a conspiracy, as demonstrated by the forethought of realizing and documenting that they understood that this was fake from the beginning, meeting the mens rea standard in law. Because of that, because it is a conspiracy, every single individual actor is now part of that conspiracy. So that includes Brennan and Clapper and Comey and Hillary and Schiff and everybody else who knowingly and willfully perpetrated this plot, this coup, this conspiracy, this scheme against President Trump and the government of the United States. And now is the time and the hour and the moment for accountability so that we can reclaim this democracy, Maria.
Now, speaking of those people, from Rep. James Comer, the House Oversight Committee is compelling the following individuals to appear for deposition through issued subpoenas. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, October 9th. Former President Bill Clinton, October 14th. Former U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, October 2nd. Former FBI Director James Comey, October 7th. Former U.S. Attorney General William Barr, August 18th. Former U.S. Attorney General Alberto Gonzales, August 26th. Former U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions, August 28th. Former FBI Director Robert Mueller, September 2nd. Former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch, September 9th. Former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder, September 30th. And if you've noticed, there's people on both sides. There are people on both sides of the aisle here. It's going to be interesting. It's going to get interesting, people. It is going to get very interesting. Disgraced former Secret Service director denies security clearance. However, under Kern's direction, the agency has begun reassessing that policy. Director Kernan has determined not all former directors need to have their clearance renewed, the spokesperson said. Additional scrutiny has emerged following accusation from Senator Rand Paul, who accused Cheadle of lying to Congress during her testimony. According to the report by the New York Post, Paul said Cheadle denied accusations she turned down requests for more resources to secure President Trump's Butler rally in advance. Oh, these people. These people got a lot of questions to answer. They really do. Hunter Biden laptop letter author helped Hillary tie Trump to Putin in 2016. Mike Morrell is perhaps best known as the driving force behind the infamous Hunter Biden laptop letter in 2020, but the former acting CIA director played an eerily similar, albeit less successful role in Hillary Clinton's failed 2016. That is true. 2016 bid. The former spy chief who organized and co-authored the infamous Hunter Biden laptop letter ahead of the 2020 election also played a key role in helping Hillary Clinton in 2016 smear Donald Trump by tying him to Russia's Vladimir Putin. Mike Morrell, the former acting CIA director, injected into the American political bloodstream the idea that Trump was an agent of Putin and Russia, a refine that would be repeated over and over again by the Clinton campaign. So much to talk about. Kash Patel puts media on blast, hints at more documents proving them liars. All right. FBI Director Kash Patel announced Saturday that a cache of documents related to the Trump-Russia investigation have been uncovered at FBI headquarters, reigniting scrutiny over the origins of the now discredited narrative that President Donald Trump colluded with Russia during his 2016 campaign. The discovery repeatedly includes burn bags containing thousands of pages of materials, including a classified annex to former special counsel John Durham's final report. Sources told Fox News that the documents are undergoing declassification review and will be sent to Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley, who intends to make them public. It is sad that we have to constantly go through this exercise with media figures obsessed with false narratives. Sean is correct as he lays out the fact pattern about the attempted takedown of President Trump. I strongly caution you against accepting media-driven narratives. Yeah, there are a lot of narratives floating around. Now, I will say this now. You're probably, to the people that watch Jeff, you might be seeing this tomorrow. You might be seeing this one tomorrow. Just say. DNI Tulsi Gabbard targets long-running CIA propaganda operation. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has called for the full dismantling of what she identifies as the remnant of the CIA's Cold War era Operation Mockingbird, an alleged propaganda network that she claims continues to influence media coverage and public perception, particularly in matters involving President Trump.
The media being used as a propaganda mechanism. We saw it flatly. I mean, I think it's the smoking gun, quite frankly, of the Obamagate narrative and the Russiagate narrative, that it was so baked in that the New York Times and Washington Post went and ran with it. Some would say that that's part of Operation Mockingbird. Some would say that that's part of what we learned in the Church Committee, that the intel agencies were using media outlets as their mouthpieces, and that those mouthpieces would parrot the official narrative. And I wanted to ask you, is this operation still going on? Are you aware of the intel agencies working directly with media outlets in order to push prescribed narratives that may or may not be true?
It's something that we've already had to deal with, Benny, within this administration, where there are people within the intelligence community who believe that their will is more important than the will of the American people, and will weaponize intelligence by leaking it to their friends within the mainstream media with the intent of undermining President Trump's agenda. It is not one that he hasn't already talked about in every rally and town hall that he did throughout the campaign. I don't even know how many there were, but President Trump is enacting the very thing he promised the American people he would do in this election. So people in the intelligence community, they may agree, they may disagree. That's not the point here. As intelligence professionals, as people who work in the national security space, in the intelligence community, they are required to fulfill their mandate to their oath to the Constitution of the United States, and to the President of the United States, who was duly elected by the American people. Those who leak intelligence to their friends in the mainstream media with the intent of undermining the president who was elected by the American people, none of these intelligence professionals were. They are subverting the will of the people and therefore undermining the Constitution.
It's wild.
Think about what we're learning with all of this. The majority of the redistricting in Texas are Hispanic. Why are they so scared? Why are Democrats so scared that the majority, 4 out of the 5 districts, are majority Hispanic? Why is that? What are these people? Hey, Jacob.
You're still having to deal with that. Call it what you will. But Operation Mockingbird, just incredible that they were just out with it, that they were using the media as government organs to push propaganda, and it's still happening today.
This is why what we're doing is so important, Benny,
Yes.
and this is why President Trump's mandate in this is really critical. Is by exposing the truth, by exposing the bad actors within the intelligence community and in the political space who are weaponizing intelligence to advance their own political interests, is so important to be able to turn the light on in places that have been dark for far too long, expose the truth, and drive accountability. That's the only way that we can actually shift this and begin the work to try to restore trust in the intelligence community.
And now, here you guys go. Here you go.
And not in the truthful way in which it was given?
I think they see that there is politicization at the top of the intelligence and law enforcement agencies, undermining the credibility of the individuals who lead these organizations. And if it undermines the credibility of those individuals, it undermines the credibility of the institutions themselves. So the U.S. intelligence is the most powerful entity on the globe. So many other countries rely on U.S. intelligence that we feed them this information. But if they suspect that anything is being done for political purposes, they're no longer going to look at this information as objective, as apolitical, as accurate information, which really is a shame, because sometimes we need to have a coalition of the willing, coalition of all our partners and allies. And that intelligence really undergirds a lot of the political efforts underway.
Former CNN director claimed that Operation Mockingbird, he stuttered after realizing what he just said. Intelligence really undergirds a lot of political efforts underway. These people are having Freudian slips. All I'm going to say is to everyone watching, you're probably going to see this again tomorrow night. Just warning you.